Not far off the tape now. White flag raised. They're off. Big race of the day, the timeless Sash Windows Irish Champion Hurdle. A rematch of the mares, 7 flights to jump. It is El Fabiolo taking them to the first, leading Brighterdaysahead, Lossiemouth, Poneros and Anzadam dropped out at the tail end of the quintet. In the lead is El Fabiolo and JJ Slevin by 2 lengths to Brighterdaysahead and Jack Kennedy, 2.5 in front of Lossiemouth and Paul Townend in third. Poneros is fourth, Danny Mullins on board. Fifth of the 5 is Anzadam and Harry Cobham. Making the bend towards flight number 2. Then in single file, led by El Fabiolo. In second place is Brighterdaysahead, who's followed by a conqueror here over the holidays, Lossiemouth, and then Poneros and Anzadam. A little more strung out, going to flight number 3. It's El Fabiolo, the leader, from Brighterdaysahead. Lossiemouth, Poneros, having his first race back, has one behind stable companion Anzadam. Lossiemouth, not great there to that flight, as was the case for the one in front, El Fabiolo, who makes the turn towards the 10 furlong point, closely followed by Brighterdaysahead. Lossiemouth remains in third, and then Poneros and Anzadam. Order unchanged as they turn down the back straight. In front is El Fabiolo by 2 lengths to Brighterdaysahead. Closer in third is Lossiemouth. 6 to 7 lengths to Poneros, with the back marker remaining Anzadam. Down the far side they go to the first of 3. Another 4 left to jump, as the second last is omitted due to the low-lying sun. It's El Fabiolo, jumped that one much better than the previous flight. Tracked all the while by Brighterdaysahead. Third is Lossiemouth, gone well cleared of the other pair, Poneros and Anzadam. As they pass the halfway stage, jumping to the next in the back straight. And it's El Fabiolo and JJ Slevin continuing at the head, from Brighterdaysahead and Jack Kennedy in second. Third is Lossiemouth and Paul Townend, and then Anzadam, Harry Cobham, who've relegated Poneros and Danny Mullins to be last of the quintet. This flight coming up the end of the back straight is 2 out. El Fabiolo from Brighterdaysahead and Lossiemouth, and then Anzadam and Poneros. Now an extended run to the final flight in the timeless Sash Windows Irish Champion Hurdle. Off the back straight, El Fabiolo. Within a length and a half, Brighterdaysahead, closed upon by Lossiemouth and Anzadam as they make the run towards the concluding half mile. El Fabiolo, stalked by Brighterdaysahead. Nudged along in third is Lossiemouth, and then Anzadam, leaving behind Poneros. Heading for the final 3 furlongs with 1 more flight left to jump. The timeless Sash Windows Irish Champion Hurdle. El Fabiolo with, on the inside, joining issue, Brighterdaysahead. Onto their heels is Lossiemouth. These 3 covered by just over 2 lengths. 5 in front of Anzadam, and Poneros is gapped at the back of the field. Now they run round the home turn, and it is Brighterdaysahead and Lossiemouth, the 2 mares, straightened for the final flight. Brighterdaysahead and Lossiemouth on the stand side, gone away from El Fabiolo, who's tied up, then Anzadam on the run to the final flight. Brighterdaysahead has the measure of Lossiemouth at this stage. They're facing the final flight in the timeless Sash Windows Irish Champion Hurdle. Brighterdaysahead over from Lossiemouth, who's struggling to close. 150 yards to go. It is Brighterdaysahead taking down Lossiemouth in the timeless Sash Windows Irish Champion Hurdle. Brighterdaysahead gets her revenge from Lossiemouth. Poneros stayed on late to take third from Anzadam and El Fabiolo, who made most, trailed in last of the 5.
What a moment for connections of Brighterdaysahead. It's been a rough ride for her ever since she produced that explosive win here at Christmas 2024. But Ruby, it was a step in the right direction last time out. Today was the day where we thought we'd find out who was the better mare she seems to have given us the answer.
I think she did today anyway, Gary. It was a really good performance. She travelled better than Lossiemouth every step of the way. I thought at times Lossiemouth wasn't even going to be able to get on her tail. But to
you
her
were worried from an early stage, weren't you? Particularly the way she was jumping and travelling.
Yeah, jumping and travelling. You were never really happy with Lossiemouth, and she's done incredibly well to get as close as she did. But look, Gary, we were here last year when this mare did what she did.
You were blown away that day.
I thought it was a hell of a performance. She's a very, very good mare. People will start maybe question her form at Cheltenham. I think she was unlucky in a mare's hurdle, and last year she never pitched up, but this is more like it. And I think they're two very good mares. It's great to have them. You got a great race here in Leopardstown, and today was Brighterdaysahead's day, and she definitely seemed happier every step of the way than Lossiemouth was. And here's a full replay. Look, it's all fine and large here up to the first hurdle, and JJ's going a nice gallop on El Fabiolo, but they hadn't gone very far before Paul Lossiemouth, the reins are gone slack. We're only getting to the first hurdle here, and Paul is starting to half squeeze her to the first. Jumps that well, but she was a bit grabby at 1 or 2 away here from the stands, and I kind of here you're thinking Paul looks like he's going as fast as he can, whereas JJ or Jack even is travelling really sweet on Fabiolo's tail. Paul looks like he's flat to the ball. She steps at this one, just about gets there. Amsterdam had no excuse. He settled well for Harry Cobden behind Pony Ross, and Harry kind of had to go after the couple in front, and he paid the price late on. Amsterdam did, but even there Jack is slowing down. Paul is always just hanging in there.
Yeah, Brighterdaysahead jumped really well in the main throughout the race. Lossiemouth, that round of jumping reminded me a bit of the way she jumped at Kenton that day behind Constitution Hill, giving him too much air. It was never really going to cut it if Brighterdaysahead came back to her best, really, was it?
No, that's ultimately there. You see Paul tapping her on the shoulder. Like, I know she has a pedigree that suggests she should have loads of speed, but to me she's always been a better mare going a bit further, and that's what it looked today. Good, decent jump at the last from both mares, and Poneros has run well to come and not nab the other two to finish third, because Amsterdam and Fabiolo are decent horses in their own right. And that just probably puts context on this. Like, these two mares, I know they're getting £7, but the two mares,
they're two wonderful mares, aren't they?
And they've come up a long way in front of 3 decent geldings.
And Amsterdam, everything seemed to go right for him today, didn't it? He couldn't get near them.
No, he couldn't get near them. But they're going through the wings of the second last hurdle here. Jack slips inside JJ. Paul is trying to keep tabs on her, and you knew Paul didn't want to go to Jack and get into a battle with him, but Jack just starts building it up here and building it up, and this is a very, very good mare, and she's a beautiful mare to look at too. She looked an absolute picture in the paddock, and she's delivered a brilliant performance on the track.
It's funny the way things work out, isn't it? She was meant to go chasing this season, had that bit of a setback that held her up, and Connections took the decision to come back hurling with her, and however the rest of the season goes, surely that's paid off in spades.
It has. I mean, to win an Irish champion hurdle here at the DRF, Mike and Anita O'Leary are here.
Which is not a trial for anything, this race. This is one of the biggest races in the calendar.
It is, and I think of the days that Hurricane Fly had here, and you look at the crowd and the atmosphere, and yeah, these are the races people have racehorses to win.
Brighterdaysahead then, she ended up a big price. They were a lot closer together earlier on in the week. Let's go back to Angus to wrap it up.
Yeah, this race was 12 seconds quicker than the novices earlier on. 12 seconds. Very strongly run contest.
Brighterdaysahead has just won the Irish Champion Hurdle. Her prime trainer is Gordon Elliott. Congratulations. Can you just walk me through it? When you walked away from that huge run at Christmas with things not having gone right, her picking up that muscle injury or setback when you were schooling, were you thinking walking away, we'll put that right in the Irish Champion Hurdle?
I knew we'd improved the day. Whether we were good enough to win or not, I wasn't sure. I knew I couldn't have had her in better form coming here today. Shane McCann rides her every day at home, and he was absolutely thrilled with her. Look, Lossiemouth is a superstar. You're always hoping, but thinking, you're not going to beat her. Fairness, our mare done everything right. She jumped great the whole way. Jack said he was delighted with her. I have to say, going to the second last, where with the second last bypass, I was a bit nervous. I saw Lossiemouth looming on us. Here we go, we're going to be second again, but just seen Paul getting a bit lower in the saddle. It was great.
And when the rain came, and in such a degree, what did that make you feel?
It didn't. To be honest, I wasn't worried when the rain came. I think, look, like most good horses, to go on the ground. Look, she's very honest. She's been to Cheltenham twice and hasn't won, which isn't ideal. But listen, we're going for the champion hurdle. We had a little issue last year after Punchestown, and we rectified it. And I think it might have been niggling her from Cheltenham. But she's in good form now, and we're very happy. So hopefully we'll look forward to it.
So one of the external interpretations, well, one of them is she doesn't like Cheltenham. The other is that she left her Cheltenham behind when that fantastic performance over Christmas. You're rejecting both of those.
Look, it's always not ideal when you've been to Cheltenham and haven't won. I think the first year, Jack will say himself, he wasn't at his brilliant best. I think him and Paul were looking at each other, and golden ace, like everyone was at the day, was shocked, but she showed how good she is. And then last year she wasn't right.
So there was an issue. What was the issue?
She had a little issue with her knee last year, and we rectified it, and everything's 100% now.
And that you reckon that was bothering her in the Champion Hurdle?
She never looked happy to me. Like, to be honest, going to the first, she was beaten.
She couldn't keep up with King of Kingsfield, could she?
I was at the last hurdle last year, at the last hurdle, and coming by the first time, she was beat. You know the way you know when like the writing was on the wall. I thought after a hurdle, but look, we're happy.
It must be so satisfying, because you've always been very loud about this mare, rightly so, because she's got so much ability. So it must be satisfying to see her do something like this. Yeah,
exactly. Look, a big thanks has to go to Michael. He obviously said we'd keep her over hurdles. The season was half. She was entered in 2 chases. She was going to run, and we decided we'd keep her over hurdles. Look, she's a good mare. We're very, very lucky.
And how do you feel about the Champion Hurdle now?
Anxious, nervous, and looking forward to it. Look, we're getting a good bunch of horses together. Again, it's as you know, it's very hard to find these horses. But the support I have is unbelievable, and it's great. Even finishing second today in the Grade 1, and we're getting a nice bunch of horses back together. But it's hard to find them.
Yeah, I think that's obvious from the outside. The team is building in quality all the time.
Yeah, we're trying very hard, so we are. So look, I have great people around me, and I'm very, very lucky.
Well, before you start getting nervous about the Champion Hurdle, make sure you enjoy today. Many congratulations.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks.
Let's reflect on the Irish Champion Hurdle. It must be very satisfying to be back in the winners' enclosure with that mare.
Exactly. We knew she'd improve from Christmas, but obviously Lossiemouth was going to be very hard to beat. Slow ground probably suited us today. But I was in front very soon on her, but I obviously didn't want to check her momentum because she stays, and she was very idle in front, and I wasn't sure how Paul was going. I was just hoping if he was going to come to me, that he'd come to me early enough that it'd give my one a chance to get going again, but thankfully he never got to me anyway, yeah.
And when Cashel Lad came out, how were you approaching the race tactically in the early stages?
I was happy enough I could have jumped out and made the run if nothing was going, but it worked out ideal that El Fabiolo went along. But then I suppose thankfully he did, because when I did hit the front, she was fairly idle, so it worked out great, yeah.
And Gordon and Michael O'Leary saying Champion Hurdle, which is great to hear. Now people will say she's not at her best at Cheltenham. What would you say to that? Because Gordon did mention a knee issue that might have been troubling her last year.
Yeah, I don't know, but she's after growing up an awful lot. She used to be hard on herself, and she's after relaxing a lot more. So I think she should be a better showing this year. Obviously, she'll have to improve and be very good on the day to win a Champion Hurdle, but hopefully she can. Yeah.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.